Can Ryan Tannehill keep the Titans afloat with Derrick Henry out? Derrick Henry, foot injury, got foot surgery. He's probably going to be out for the remainder of the season. We're not sure if he's going to be back for the playoffs. And I'm surprised this happened because when I was watching the game, I don't know where it happened. He played the entire game.
He came out for a little bit. But he went right back in. He wasn't efficient. He was averaging, like 3 yards a carry, if that.
Yeah,
but he came out for a little bit.
Great rush defense though, too.
Yeah.
I don't know when it happened because Derrick Henry played the entire game. I was looking to see okay, when did this guy go out? If Derrick Henry played through a broken foot, bravo. This is insanity. But Derrick Henry, arguably the most valuable non-quarterback in the NFL. Titans are 6-2 right now. Ryan Tannehill on the year has 2,002 yards, has thrown for 10 touchdowns and 7 INTs, completed 65% of his passes, and ranks 8th in QBR, which is surprising to me. Can he keep the Titans afloat without Derrick Henry? Do you think the Titans have a chance to still be a contender, maybe make the AFC Championship with Tannehill and Henry out? What do you think?
I don't think AFC Championship is in their sight. I don't think that's possible for them, especially without Derrick Henry. They're going to be contenders because the AFC South sucks. You know what I mean? Like the Colts are their biggest competitors, sitting at 3-5. They just beat them though.
Mm-hmm. True.
I'm usually a team or a fan of running backs don't really matter, right? We talk about Michael Carter in the 4th round, how great he looks, but Derrick Henry's an anomaly. He's one of the 3 probably best running backs, top 5 for sure that we're going to see, and probably one of the best I'm going to see in my lifetime. It's hard for me to decide how this offense is going to look because we've never seen them without Derrick Henry. He plays every game for every single year. I can't remember the last time he missed a game. And not only does he not miss a game, he barely comes off the field. He's playing 90+% of snaps. He's getting 90+% of all of the running back targets and carries. The offense has to change. You're not going to be able to replace them with Jeremy McNichols and Adrian Peterson. You're definitely not going to be able to replace it with those two. I don't even think there's no one on the street you could pick up. Nobody in the league can really replace Derrick Henry. If the Titans want to compete, they have to change their offense. This has to be an offense that goes through A.J. Brown, and you got to hope that Julio can get healthy and stay healthy because A.J. Brown, we already know, he dealt with some injuries in the past, or earlier this season. He had a little stomach bug, but the last 2-3 games, he's been on fire, unbelievable, and Tannehill has really came along too. Not only is Derrick Henry going to be lost in the rushing game, but he's having his best receiving season too. All of last season, he had 19 receptions for 114 yards, and this year, 8 games in, he had 18 receptions for 154 yards. So luckily, being in the AFC South, they'll be able to compete. They'll make the playoffs. They could even win a playoff game. I don't think they'll make the AFC Championship game. It's really a matter of time to see, can Tannehill lead this team? Because Derrick Henry's not going to be there forever. Can Tannehill lead this team with below average backfields? And you have weapons outside of A.J. Brown. If Julio can't stay healthy, though, that's tough.
This is an interesting topic. I like it a lot, truthfully. Because obviously, guys know I love Derrick Henry, and it was one of the worst sports days of my life. Derrick Henry, Von Miller, both those news broke on the same day. It was definitely rough for the brand. That being said, it's going to be interesting to see how defenses scheme the Tennessee Titans, because a huge part that goes into scheming the Titans is probably 75% Derrick Henry. And how are we going to stop Derrick Henry? Now it's going to be a lot more reliant on what can Ryan Tannehill really do for our squad. I don't know if it's going to be as seamless or as easy as, just throwing in Jeremy McNichols or Adrian Peterson, and that's the Band-Aid to the cut apparently. But I think that we're going to actually have to see Tannehill take a huge step in his game. Obviously, he's 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's top 8 in yards this season. But that is due to Derrick Henry opening up the field for them. 9 out of 10 times, they're sending 7. They're sending 6 minimum because you always have to take into account Derrick Henry rushing the ball. He's getting the ball a minimum of 20 to 25 times. Absolute minimum 20. So now you take Derrick Henry out. I do think McNichols is going to have success because he is a solid pass-catching back, and that's only going to benefit Ryan Tannehill. But if you only have to worry about A.J. Brown, if Julio Jones is going to be in and out of the lineup week in, week out, it gets a lot easier to scheme up the Tennessee Titans offense, truthfully. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? Yes. Like you mentioned, the division is a little bit wacky right now. But I'm still high on the Colts. It was a great game that they just had. I think, they lost by 3 points?
Overtime, yeah.
And a big part of Ryan Tannehill's success was Derrick Henry champed through it. I mean, as long as Derrick Henry's on the field, you, no matter what, have to take him into account. With him out of the lineup now, and defenses aren't going to be scared of McNichols. They're not going to be scared of a 34, 35-year-old Adrian Peterson. He might be older than that. I really haven't checked his age.
36.
Damn. There we go. I mean, listen, AP is one of my favorite players ever. 36-year-old Adrian Peterson. For sure, Frank Gore can do it. Probably Adrian Peterson can do it. But doing it at a high level, he's definitely not going to be doing it at the level of Derrick Henry. That is, I don't think anyone has that thought. It's a lot to ask of Ryan Tannehill. Do I think he'll take him to the playoffs? Sure. But do I think there'll be a first-round exit without Derrick Henry? Probably.
The Titans are done. It's over for them. They'll make the playoffs because they got off to a 6-2 start. And the Colts have to climb back there. But they're done. Ryan Tannehill in 2020 had 7 total interceptions. This year, he has 7 interceptions already. And this isn't the same guy that I saw when he first got to Tennessee. I feel like Todd Downing is a major downgrade from Arthur Smith. AP, McNichols, hell no. They're not filling the role of Derrick Henry, not even together. Nobody can. Nobody in the NFL can. Their upcoming games are against the Rams, the Saints, the Texans, the Patriots, a bye, then against Jacksonville. So I think after this stretch of games, they'll be 8-5 because I have them losing to the Rams. I have them losing to the Saints, but that's a toss-up. I have them winning to the Texans. I have them losing to the Pats and beating Jacksonville. So I think they'll go 2-3 in this stretch. It's not all Tannehill's fault if they don't have success. The reason for this is because Julio hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been on the field. We haven't gotten to see AJ, Julio, and Henry. We're not sure if he can stay healthy. Their tight ends are not good. You only have A.J. Brown. So if Julio's not out there, you really don't have anybody outside of A.J. Brown that can really create, that's a playmaker. They have the 21st ranked pass blocking offensive line, the 14th ranked run blocking offensive line. Ryan Tannehill was the 5th most sacked quarterback in the NFL. We saw when the Titans had Derrick Henry but no Julio and A.J., they couldn't beat the Jets. So now, with no Derrick Henry, you'll have AJ, who knows about Julio. He's always in question because he's always hurt. Their offense is going to struggle. Ryan Tannehill this year has been incredibly inaccurate. I mean, high on throws. He's predetermining his reads. He's throwing into coverage. This is not the efficient Tannehill that I saw in 2020 and in 2019 after he got the start. This is not the same guy. Because even then, as much as you want to contribute his success to Derrick Henry, this is why he was so great. It really wasn't, because Ryan Tannehill led a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. The same thing you praised Matthew Stafford for. He had to drop back in shotgun a lot of the times, and he was making plays, and he was clutch. This year, that just doesn't seem to be the case because I don't think this team is as intact as it once was. You know, last year, and the year before, you had AJ, you had Corey, you had Jonnu Smith, you even had Adam Humphries in 2019. You had guys. Even in 2019, Derrick Henry wasn't there, but they had Dion Lewis, who was a really good receiving back. They don't have that. Their defense, though, I'm confident in their defense because Harold Landry has taken a big step this year. Jeffrey Simmons has been phenomenal. I think Rashaan Evans is coming.
2018, you mean?
Yeah, I think Rashaan Evans is coming back soon. And Kevin Byard has been amazing as well as a safety, one of the best safeties in coverage. I think their defense will be just good enough to keep them in games. It's not a Kansas City situation where Tannehill has to play near perfect and their defense is still going to give up 30, but you know he'll still find a way. The Titans won't give up 30. Their defense isn't that bad. They'll hold their own. But I just think this offense has been cut in half with not only Derrick Henry, but the departure of Jonnu and then Corey Davis and Julio not being healthy and Todd Downing and not Arthur Smith. There's just a lot of moving parts here. And Tannehill, there's a reason why he's thrown 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He's been careless with the ball. I just don't see the Titans doing anything. I'm completely out on the Titans.